Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViewsUp, and today I am going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to make my newest application, the Farting Pig. But as far as things goes, this guide is really meant for showing you how to make some things I've seen a lot of questions on. How to make splash screens, how to make images change when you hit a button, how to make a sound play, how to make things hide and show, some other stuff. So for example, with splash screens real quick, pull mine up real quick, you'll have something like this shows for a couple seconds and then it moves on. You could find how long it will show. The reason why you want this is quick advertisement and maybe important information. So I see on some other developers, they put on theirs, this application works well with headphones, something like that. For myself, I either put something like this was built by, or I put something like this application, some functions in this application requires internet or something like that. So that's where that comes in play. And again, as far as the image changing, things hiding and showing, why would you want something to hide and show up real quick? I'm working on another application. I'm not going to make a guide on it, but I'm working on another application for an organization, and it's for a safety engineer map. And basically, what could happen? In fact, let's take this from that and bring it into something that we all been through. It's like a doctor office or some job application form or something like that, where it'll say check off something, then it'll say describe more, or if you checked yes, then check yes or no on the following. So instead of a person getting a piece of paper and seeing like a blob of check boxes and comment boxes and all that other stuff, and where they don't need it, so instead of them having to skip halfway through a piece of paper because they didn't check one yes on one box and majority of stuff is irrelevant to them, they only see what's important to them. Whereas if they click check yes or no or whatever it might be, then the other stuff, because it'll be relevant to them at that time, will show up. So for instance, with the safety engineer stuff, with that, bring it back to that, I haven't got a list yet on what they have per room, so I'm not really sure how this checklist is going to work out. It's for iOS, by the way. But what could happen is, say for example, if I don't know, like say for example, one of the checks is fire extinguisher. Is there a fire extinguisher? They click yes. Then something else pops up right below it. How was the percentage? 10 to 20%, 20 to 40%, so on, so on, so on. And that way they can say how full it is or whatever it is. And that's just an example. There's many other examples. So for in this case, I got a reset button on this. There's no point in showing a reset button when basically the reset will make it look like this. So what will happen is when you click the pig, a sound will play, some text will show up, and a reset button will show. At that point, the reset button, when you click that, it just reverts it back, right back to this. So that's another example of why you want to make something invisible. But anyways, let's jump into some quick personal advertisement, and then I'll get into a step-by-step starting with the splash screen. Thank you for sticking around during this quick transition. Now, if you want to help me out, then there's several quick ways. You can easily leave a like, subscribe, and share to this video and my other videos if it helps you out, of course. And if it doesn't help you out, then feel free to leave a dislike, but also tell me why so I can fix it in other videos. But as far as things goes, if you want to help out, even further, then you can check out my other videos by clicking the top button. This will take you directly to my channel. And if you are mobile, then the links will be in the description for everything that I'm talking about. And if you want to help me financially wise, as far as getting better equipment or being able to actually hire a staff, then feel free to check out the left button, which is the PayPal, and the right, which is the Patreon campaign. The PayPal is simply a PayPal donation, and the right is simply a Patreon campaign. But without further ado, let's jump right back into the actual video, which you came here to see. Welcome back. Now, real quick, in order to make a splash screen, and real quick, I want to emphasize this again. This video is not made for someone who's starting out from day one. This is meant for someone who's starting out from day 5 or something like that. Someone that actually knows how to make a on-click listener method, how to do IDs, things like that. How basic stuff. Not someone who's been doing it for months and months and months, but also not someone who's been doing it for a day. So that's a huge thing to keep in mind. I will make a video in an actual step-by-step guide that you can put on your Android and follow through it step by step on how to do it. And I'll make a guide just for people who are starting out or who never even started coded before. It's very, very simple and easy stuff. So as far as things goes with splash screens, obviously make your layout, and I wouldn't really do anything other than just making an image and put it as your background for your layouts. That's it. That's all I do on mine. I mean, what else is there? Now you could do a splash screen where the person can select something right here, and if they select it, then fine. But what I do on mine is it's free advertisement again, and it says something important, or at least says who made it. Because I'm just going to put my stuff on time. And what happens is, assuming that you already know how to read some of this, go down to the thread timer. So basically I have it sleeping for 5,000, basically that's 5 seconds. So have it sleeping for 5 seconds, and any errors catch it, then what it does, it starts at 10. So what I do with mine, let's go into Android Manifest, and what I do with my splash screens, to make the splash screen show up, I copy the activity, paste it, and put splash or whatever the class is for the splash screen, and leave that as the launcher. Then for the second thing, just make that default. Everything else is default. So for example, with this, what happens here is the intent, it looks for this in the Android manifest, and that matches up with this, that action, and that action matches up with this class. So whenever that 5 seconds goes up, it starts this code, and then it turns on this, and while that's going on, it pauses the splash screen, then closes it. This basically makes it where if the splash screen is a leak of any type, as far as memory goes, it kills it, so you don't run into any memory issues, which you'll have on cheap and older phones. So after this opens the class, the whatever class you selected, you need to make sure that all your basics there, your layout, whatever, and your IDs and all the other stuff. Now this area, I want to really pay attention to it. It's for the advertisement. I don't have a guide on that. I'm not really sure if I'll make a guide on how to put that particular advertisement into your application. I'm looking for another company to advertise with, because while the advertisement's great, the problem is that the application doesn't require the person to be online in order to use it or whatever. Then what happens is the person doesn't get advertisement, which is great in some instances, but in many instances I want that money, because I don't really do paid apps. I got a few, but they don't sell worth anything, and that money in hand is a lot better than doing whatever. So I'm looking for another place to advertise with, and that might mean entirely different, another method on all this. So don't worry about that. I got my IDs. Then we got our own button stuff. So with this button, it's this is an actual button. All I did here is made the background that has no text with it, and that's that. So when the person clicks that, they're good to go. I was having problems with image button. I don't really know why. I don't really care anymore. I took like 2 seconds. I was like, let's see if this works, and it worked. So as far as the text below the pig itself, you might have noticed it's not really showing, and let's just click on one real quick. And the reason why is we have Android this line right here, Android visibility invisible. The Android visibility invisible, that part's very important, because the choices when you type that in, and if a choice system shows up, it's one of three things: visible, invisible. Visible is obviously it's going to show. Invisible is it's not going to show. And gone, and that's something that you really shouldn't click on. So if you want it to show up visible, don't want it to show invisible, which is very, very important, because what happens is if you have it as invisible, from my experience, my direct experience from testing and everything, there might be some exception out there. From my experience, buttons, you can't click on them while they're invisible. Now again, that's from my experience only. So what happens is you have that invisible, it might be a good or bad thing for you. For me, it's a good thing. So when a person clicks on that pig, again, that's a button, the image of that button changes. So it changes from this to this. Let's close that real quick. And that way it changes that. Then it makes the text below it visible, and then it plays a sound, and basically it designates the sound file as this. And what you would need to do is, if you don't have a raw file, which I didn't, you have to actually create one, and just put the sound file within the raw file, and it should show up and everything. Then you're starting the sound itself, and from there it's playing. Now you can stop the sound if you want to do a time stop, or say for example if you switch from one activity to the next, you can stop the sound. It is whatever you name the sound stuff, release, and that's it, and that will stop the sound. Now one thing I want to point out is this will only play the sound once. So for something like this, it's great, because I don't want the sound to be played over and over and over and over. It's when a person clicks a button, the sound plays, the sound's done playing, it doesn't play anymore. So that's a really good thing. And if you want it to be on a loop, you might want to check your code out Now, as far as things go, the reset button, it goes visible, and as you may guess, the reset button has an on-click listener, and from that you have the pig. It changes to the image, which is back to the way it is now, and then the text below it plus the reset button goes invisible. So basically it brings it back to square one. So that's pretty much it as far as this application goes. I do have this application up for free on the marketplace, so you can check it out. But as far as things goes, that's it as far as this application goes. If you need any help, then please feel free to leave it in the comment section. I'll try to get back to it as quickly as possible. Again, I know this has been a very swift glance. It's a pretty long video, but it's a swift glance over a lot of small details. And the reason why is I'm assuming that you already know a lot of the basics, like on-create IDs, making classes, layouts, things like that of nature. But as far as that goes, please feel free to check out some of my videos while you wait on me to actually release one that's a lot more detailed for someone who never even touched code. But if you do run into any problems with this particular stuff, or if you have any questions or tips, please leave that below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. But again, this has been Craig Bennett, founder and owner of TechReviewsNope. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. If you don't like this, then please leave a dislike and tell me why you're disliking it so I can fix it in future videos. But I hope you have a great day. And also, please feel free to visit the Patreon campaign, my channel, and TechReviewsNope.com.